Hey, what's up, everybody?
Hey guys, this is my name is Cameron.
Your name's Austin. This is my brother Austin. My name's Cameron. Where this is the Double Trouble podcast, the first, I guess, hopefully, of many videos where we just talk about, I guess, a whole lot of nonsense, really,
Yeah, anything and everything.
anything and everything.
Where we at, dude?
It's March 18th. I want to say no, sorry, it's March 19th.
Yeah.
It's 5 o'clock right now, CST.
Mm-hmm. The sun goes down at 7:30.
Yeah, for those of you who are
Yeah.
concerned about that,
Oh,
but
okay, dude. So I would say so I see a psychiatrist, and this is an assignment that I have to do.
all
Um,
right.
but let me look for it. Let me look for it real quick because it was something pretty cool, and I guess it's something that we're pondering. But So it goes, pull two job descriptions for a desired job. What does it take to reach that desired goal? What are the first step to reach that goal? Um, so three things that I've been thinking about, and I think when I asked this lady um, what I wanted to do, she's like, what have you been wanting to do, whatever. And I was like, I wanna work for my family. I wanna, make sure my family's taken care of. And she's like, no, but what do you want to do? And like, the more that we talk about it and everything like that, the more I'm like, ah, dude, I think that's what I want to do. Like, not, I guess, not work for anybody. Just how I've been saying before. Like, not wanting to wake up, not on my own schedule, but I don't know, like have purpose. It's like a drag when I wake up for work. I'm not saying that's all the time, but like as of lately, I think the more I consume myself with like wanting to do something more, like, okay, when you are there times when you wake up where you feel like you're not doing enough? Like enough in the sense of like, man, I feel so inadequate. Like I feel like I'm like my life just isn't going the place that I want to go.
Now you're gonna lose this.
Oh, thanks, dude. That's my sister right there.
Yeah.
Pink ring boy.
Fuck boy.
But yeah, dude, where you feel like I don't know, dude, like there's more to life than just what you're doing. Like there's people enjoying their lives, like I don't know. Like I feel like yeah, I don't know. I would have to talk to someone like super successful. Like okay, for your friend for your example, your friend James.
Yeah.
Okay, how would you have you ever asked him like, dude, like do you ever run into stints where you don't want to do shit or where like, where you going or something? You know what I mean?
I think the closest I got to that, I never asked him that particular way, but I had asked him if he could picture the life that he has now when he was younger. And his response was like, no. Like, I never could have come close to the stuff that he's been able to see, do. This guy, James, a really successful guy. I met him through a mutual friend of mine in Kiev, Ukraine, before the war and all this crazy stuff, I guess it's going on now. But he's just a really successful guy. When I've asked him about it, like, how did you get there? Like, what like, what did you do to get there? Yeah, his response was like, he's like, look, I wish I could say that I was the smartest guy in the room. I wish I could say that I just was the best, so on and so forth. He's like, but I really wasn't. He's like, I just happened to be in the right place at the right time. And I remember having a conversation with him more recently, and it was me asking him, I guess, a similar question, and his response was, he's like, I know myself in the sense where I know what my strengths are, and I know what I'm good at and not good at, and I know how to find other people who are good at the things that I'm not good at. So like my brother presented that question to me, or at least like that experiment that he had to go through, the homework that he was given. And it was my first knee jerk reaction or like response to him when he gave that question or like assignment was, it was like this external, like, well, what do you like doing? What job would you think like applies these skills and so on and so forth. And after I sat on the question for about like a few days, I was thinking like, I've had jobs that I thought were gonna be like really good jobs based off of what I thought I liked and what I thought I was good at, and I hated them. And so sitting on like I guess that realization a little bit longer, it was just me arriving like it has to be an internal I guess like satisfaction. Like you have to figure out internally what you like, who you are, what makes you happy in that sense internally before you start trying to find it in external things. And so then I got on a call with him again, and we talked about that instead. And I was like, dude, I think it's stuff like that. I was like, I really like engaging in ideas. I like talking to other people about the ideas that they have and seeing how far you can take them. Because I feel like when you think about things versus when you talk about them, you can take them a lot further when you talk about them. And so that's actually a little bit more of the motivation for why we started this like podcast, or at least why we want to start it,
Mm-hmm.
is just to see where it goes. But I think it's also a really good experiment for both of us in that we get to talk about things, regular everyday stuff, and maybe some of it might be like, I guess, in our specialty or not. Like what I went to school for. I have a double major in biochemistry and genetics, and then I just finished a master's in bio and engineering. And so I was talking to him. I was like, it would be cool just to see how many people like stuff like that. Also, how many people, I guess, whoever watches this, like, how many people are interested in things that I might be, that I might just be fiddling around with. And so my
Yeah,
brother,
big nerd, bro. That's
yeah,
what I think. Yeah.
nerd alert.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So like I think when you see quick, or at least for myself, like I see quick success and people see the work that I can do, and they applaud me. They applaud me. They tell me that they see potential in me, that I do things differently than other people. And there's a lot of people that might be experiencing the same thing, but it's like after the normalcy sets in, like I run into this place every time, dude. I run into this place every time where it's like, dude, there has to be more. Like there has to be more. And I don't know, man. I picture myself like a warrior or something. Like, and I'm not where I'm supposed to be. Like, and it's always this continuous cycle of like running into the same shit, like running into the same thing where it's like, yeah, do really good because you want to do a good job. Extend yourself, be selfless, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then it's like you hit a stint, and maybe it's something that I deal with in the sense of growth, but at the same time, like there's this thing in the back of my mind, or even my conscience, where it just tells me it's like, bro, you're not there. There's more. You're not supposed to be doing this. You're not supposed to be doing this. Pursue pursue something that you don't. I don't even know how to explain it, man. But just pursue something that makes you feel good, that makes you want to wake up in the morning. And I think that's like every guy's thing of like finding purpose and like, pointing themselves in a direction where they feel like they're most needed or something like that. Like rising to your finest hour or something. And I think that's where I'm at, Cameron. Where I'm like, and Joe Rogan can be, motivational, but he's like, dude, and he quotes Thoreau, but he's like, men live quiet lives of desperation. And the lady asks him like, okay, why do you think that? He's like, bills. He's like a wife, kids, an apartment, a car payment. He's like, they get stuck in these things. They don't really have they have an idea, but they don't really formulate a plan to get there, and they're not really on their hours outside of work. They're not really planning on, they're not really planning their escape. And I I I wanna I wanna be free. That's what I was telling well, yeah, that's what I was telling you earlier. Where it's like, dude, I think, at least for myself, and this might be for, just me, but I think America, in the sense of like promoting freedom, I think that's the freedom that America promotes, like down to its core. Like, dude, financial freedom, like your pursuit to happiness and like where you want to be in life, and like you putting effort into something that makes you feel good, makes you wake up, So like, I don't know, Kramer. That's where I want to go.
Yeah, that was also like, so when we were talking about, I guess, starting this podcast, that was kind of something you. It's easier to get moving when you're already moving, or it's easier to do more when you're already in motion. And so this podcast, I felt, or at least when my brother and I were talking about it, like before sitting here and trying it for the first time, we were talking about that concept. Where I'm just like, right, like it's easier to start pursuing things when you're already doing something. I think the podcast gives us time to talk about things and then pursue them and then share them and then keep pursuing, like in this motion of like pursuit. It's like, oh yeah, we get to talk about the things that we just came across today. Like, for example, we were trying to find this USB, this like special USB that we need to connect to this mic, something like that. We went to Best Buy to go buy it, and we're trying to get in line, and this guy like just cuts in front of us, and we're just like, well, hey man, like where's the line? And we're trying to be aggressive or anything,
dude,
but
to me, I didn't even think the
it's like,
guy like I don't fucking know. Honestly, like I don't even know. Because like the lines are clear as day. Like they have
yeah,
things, and
line
then it's
starts
like
here.
it curves, going out to the store floor or whatever. But like the guy walked, it was weird. It was just like you had to be there to see it. It's like, dude, the signs say this, and it's like I don't know. I think people suck at attention to detail. You did this today, dude, and I only learned this. I learned this in the army, but they're like, dude, when you're moving around vehicles, you're not supposed to walk in front of it, or if it's reversing, you're not supposed to walk behind it, just so you don't get run over. But as I was backing up into the parking spot, you walk behind it, dude. You know what I mean? I'm like, dude, this guy, like, if I wasn't paying attention, or if my car didn't let me know that someone was behind me, I probably would have fucking crushed him. You know what I mean? Like, not even thinking about it. But just the same thing. I think people's attention to detail suck. Like, honestly, like if it doesn't apply to you, you're not gonna fucking really follow it.
Yeah,
That's
for
what
sure.
that's what I fucking think. Yeah.
For sure. I mean, like if it's not in your realm, you can't be all things all the time. You know,
Yeah.
like you can't be aware of everything all the time. You're just aware of whatever's in your world. Like, oh my god. But me knowing that now, I'm like, hey, wow, this is a really nice day. I just got my little USB, and
Yeah, yeah. No.
wow, what?
Okay, so I guess going
Wait.
back to it because I think we're getting off topic. What would Let's go back to the question because I
Oh
think
yeah.
I think they're two pretty good questions.
What makes you happy?
What does it take to reach a desired goal? What is your first step to reaching that goal? Like in the sense of a desired job.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. I don't like the word job, dude. As I read this and like I said, I consume myself. I'm like,
I mean, jobs are
dude,
jobs.
fuck a job, bro. And not in the sense of a lazy like deal, but like
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like, dude, fuck a job. Fuck working for the man, dude. Fuck working for the man. Like, there's a
Oh, man.
rebel. I think everybody has a rebel inside them, or like every guy. I don't know what women think about, but every guy has a rebel inside him, dude. And there's stronger rebels than others. And I not even in the sense of going against the grain, but I think like just living quiet lives of desperation and like it slowly builds and compounds and builds, but like you don't have an escape to fucking get away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, dude, my desired and my counselor, she's like, what do you want to do for you? And I think this is something that you and I have been talking about in the sense of togetherness of our family. I read Marcus Garvey, or I read a book on Marcus Garvey, and it's just speeches, but he talks about knowing your family history, or knowing your family history and where you come from, and the empowerment of that. And I think like taking more consideration and more pride in your last name, like whether you know where you come from or you don't, but to start and to like be a leader in that sense of stuff, but also at the same time like investing in yourself to benefit the people around you. And even again, like you talking about like you want to influence the world or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, Cameron, well, what's your world? You
Yeah.
know, like how far are you reaching? Because to me, I think I was in the army for a little bit, and I deployed.
8 years to be exact.
Right, we're not trying to put it out there too much, but like
Yeah.
I think like and I didn't see as serious stuff as other people have seen like in war, but where you see the happiness in life, but you also see the misery, you also see the sadness in life, and like how they tie together. And then like we didn't really know what we were doing there other than looking out for the guy next to us and making sure, and not even making sure, but like you grow so accustomed to the people around you that they become essentially your brothers. They become you form a little brotherhood where you're accounting for the other guy and you care about their well-being. And sometimes you fucking don't. because you see how dirty they are. But again, going back to it, going to a brother, you're like, man, dude, this guy's so fucking filthy. But you get so comfortable with those people that you're able to see when they're mad, when they're agitated, when they're sad, when they're happy, when something's off, So like, I think I to me, I think your influence should be in the sense of like the people that you have in arm's reach. The person that you can influence just right in front of you, dude. You don't have to go far for it. And some people they can be influenced. Even the same thing, my counselor, she asked, she's like, have you ever, they ask these stupid questions, or not stupid questions, but I'll say these questions I think are stupid, but like, you think of suicidal thoughts or you think of like, hurting somebody. I'm like, dude, some people have punchable faces. Seriously, I'm telling her this, and I'm like, dude, you can't tell me that you don't think that.
Mm.
You're not gonna like fucking everybody,
All right.
but some people have a punchable face, dude. I might have a punchable face to
Yeah.
somebody, Somebody might not like me, so like, I don't know, dude. I think how far are you wanting to stretch? And if you don't have a family like that, who are you in direct contact with to where you maybe can form that kind of relationship? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I think, and then also, but at the same time, you gotta. There's things that apply to that because if you're just expecting someone to embrace you for who you are, that's not. To me, that's not a thing. Like, oh yeah, just accept me for how I come. Like, what? Like, no, dude. If you're an asshole, like, you're probably not gonna. You're probably not gonna hang out with a lot of people, dude, because you're an asshole and people don't really like you and you can't figure it out. So I think like a lot of that is comes with like retrospect and like taking time to not cloud your judgment. And I think that has to go with like doing drugs, shoot, even drinking, where like if you get too drunk, or if you get too drunk or too stoned on something, you're you're not gonna the clarity's not gonna be there, dude, and you're just gonna be a fucking drone. You're just gonna be a drone and you're just gonna constantly think that why is life happening to me this way? Or like, man, dude, life is never up, or you're up and then you go down and you're like, fuck, dude. And it's a recurring cycle. It happens to me all the time. It happens to me all the time. And it's like, dude, but even with that, going to it where it's like, Cameron, I think we need to work together. Because it's harder by yourself. And I think if you work together, you build something, you make it easier, you lighten the load, you share it. So I think it's a thing of working on yourself, having clarity, having purpose, finding information to help you shape that purpose, and then you working together with someone to buy into that same thing. Maybe not the same idea, but just the same thing in the sense of going into a positive direction. Someone to hold you accountable and you being willing to take that criticism. I think something that was cool was the other day where you're on the phone with that girl and I was like, just I was drunk, but just talking where I heard something and I was like, my ears perked up and I thought I could add to the conversation. And you're like, dude, but the way I took it was like, man, I didn't like you made me feel dumb.
Mm.
But I conveyed in that sense, even that communication. But like where I conveyed how you made me feel, and then you're like, Austin, I'm so sorry. But just having that awareness to be like, Austin, I'm gonna change that, dude, because I don't want to hurt your feelings. I don't want to make you feel like you're dumb. And I don't know, just that making me feel welcome and not feel dumb. And then like that togetherness where like the relationship gets better. And we're like you can work things out more and more. And then when something actually does happen where you do need fine tuning, you guys have that strong relationship where it's like, you know what, you're right. So I don't know, man. I think that's right. This elaborate talk to just come to answer those two things. It is what does it take to reach that desired goal is to be consistent, and the first step is starting it. I think those are the two things: being consistent and starting it. And then to even blow it up more is to find someone with a common idea or a common goal in the sense of pushing forward and not retreating. I think that's something that I learned in the army. Like, dude, you never retreat; you just fall back and regroup. And then you push forward again. Take the hill. You got to find someone to take the hill with. Because if you do it by yourself, you're gonna get shot in the face. You know what I mean? But
You
yeah,
don't want that.
yeah. So to you, what do you want to do?
I'd say in regard to those questions, or at least regard to the points that you made, it's to elaborate further because I feel like all of them capture more or less the same things that you're supposed to do. Be able to be held accountable, but also have like the self recognition to know if things aren't the way that you want them to be, that something needs to change. And then to be able to reach out to people and be like, okay, well, what, at least to talk more about your ideas and things like that, where you are versus where you want to be, and have people to confide in, be able to take the criticism they give you back because you might not be the person you need to be to get those things. And to be able to hear that in this constructive way and then move forward on that as opposed to getting offended and then trying to push those people away
Mhm.
and staying the way that you are and then just getting that much further away from the person or the place or whatever it is that you want to be at or be. So it's like just that. Like what I want to do, I definitely want to collaborate with more people on I guess all types of things. I haven't really figured out what it is yet. When I was talking to him about well, I think like at the time what his counselor had asked him was like, what would make you happy? And he gave her an answer, and then him and I were talking about it, and it was me again like pointing to these like external things where it's like, well, what type of job do you think you'd be good at? Like what type of this? And then reflect on it myself and realizing that I'm like, right, like that doesn't even make me happy. Like why am I automatically why is that what I'm giving him advice to do? And
Yeah.
then it came back and I was like, okay, well then what would I like to do? What do I like doing? I was like, I really like when my brother and I talk about things. I really like when we talk about like things, anything, like randomly, like just stuff like
Like
that.
hose.
That feedback of anything. Like, oh hey man, I read this today about this, or I went and this happened today. Like
Yeah.
just pushing ideas forward. I feel like that is at least I'm on that journey now. I have that awareness of being like, okay, like actually the jobs that I've found so far, or at least the places I've worked, they haven't really fulfilled me in the way where I could say that I was happy doing them. It was just things that I did. And then as you and my brother are doing this, just the good conversations that we have, the laughs and all the stuff, like the therapeutic sense of what it does for me. I'm just like, oh, I really like that. I wonder how many other people would enjoy that too. Like, I wonder what we could talk about. At least other podcasts and things like that that I've seen, heard.
This mosquito's
Right,
fucking
this
bothering me,
this
dude.
mosquito's trying to get in on the pod, bro.
Yeah, dude, this mosquito's fucking dead. And go on, go.
But just that, like other like podcasts and messages, like the Joe Rogan Experience. However you might feel about whoever he is, but the amount of like people that he gets to have on his podcast and the things that they get to talk about, these experts or just regular people, I guess, in their field, the perspectives that he gets, like the things that he's probably been exposed to, the thought processes that he's had to go through just for having these people and listening to what they say and being willing to listen. I think like who I am as a person now can be better if I get exposed to more people who want to collaborate and talk about things and I guess like push forward in their own way, in their own sense. I feel like I have my own interests right now, but human beings are this ever evolving thing. You who you are versus who you were isn't who you are now. In some sense, either better or worse or the same. But like in the same where it's like you're still even though like for example, when you were 7, you're not the same person you were when you were 7. Like your world's gotten bigger just by you existing long enough for your brain to mature and all these other things. And so it's like going through life, getting exposure to other people and what they might be different. I guess I would like to call it like just pockets of reality, where it's like things what you think is real might be real to you, but then you go and you talk to somebody. Like for example, what's going on in Ukraine. I have an ex girlfriend of mine. She's a Ukrainian citizen, and I would go visit her all the time before the war. I left Ukraine as the war, as like Russia was actually starting to like mount their soldiers on the border and stuff like that. Like nothing was going on during that particular period of time, but keeping up with her during the war for about a year and some change now, it's just been like, wow, like that's so crazy. And here we are. Like we don't have to worry about that. They have like air sirens that go off. So she's in Kiev now, which is the capital city, but she was just telling me like just how crazy it is. Like it's like, oh, we're doing our best. She's like, we're doing our best just to I mean, like, what else can we do? Right? Like we don't have as citizens anyway, but she's like, there's nothing we can do. We're just here trying to eat, you know, and just be normal, I guess. But
Right. Yeah.
in that sense where it's like getting exposed I guess to different things you can your happiness can evolve. What that looks like now might not be what it looks like later, and I think getting exposure to other people's hopes and dreams and goals and perspective things like that enhances you as a human being. It enhances the happiness that you can have.
Yeah. I think that and then like well yeah, experiences. I think like you have to and everybody what I think. Everybody knows this, right? Or at least experiences this, where like something sucks, like something happens. Like for example, dude, today I was doing my taxes, bro. Here I'm thinking I'm gonna get X amount of money back, whatever, but I have to pay taxes. I have to pay taxes. I have to pay like $300, $400 in taxes, and I'm like, damn, I was really counting on that fucking money.
I was excited at the start of this, but now
Yeah,
it's hurt.
yeah. I was like, gosh, damn, dude, I gotta pay $400 in taxes. You know what I mean? And it's small time, you know, to someone else. Like my aunt, you know, she said she had to pay like $10,000 or like 10 or 12, but someone else has to pay like a ridiculous amount. But seriously, I'm on the, or at least the direction I want to be in is where I'm paying fucking no taxes, dude. I want to pull a Trump where I'm just like, or an Amazon, dude, where I'm not paying any taxes, dude.
I have an offshore account for a company that owns a
Yeah.
company that lets me borrow stuff sometimes. Like,
Yeah, dude, we're like, no. I was watching this thing where like this guy, he's talking about like, yeah, dude, these people, so they can evade taxes. They buy these expensive ass, they buy this penthouse. Now they give a ridiculous number, like 140 million or $140 million penthouse in New York. But then they claim that as an asset and they like reinvest. They borrow against that asset and they put it into the stock market and then they flip money. So like they pay zero in taxes because they claim that thing as an asset and they keep that 140 million. So like it's so fucking weird, but like anyways, there's a book that someone wrote on it. It's called The Hacker's Mind or something like that I want to buy, that I'm going to get. But still though, just stuff like that where it's like, dude, how the fuck, at least me, and this is something that I talked to my brother about, or you know, to you, where I'm like, dude, Cameron, all I've been thinking about is how not to pay taxes, dude.
just wake up.
How do I get my check and how do I keep the whole check?
Yeah, how does the system work, dude?
How does this work, dude? How does this work? Because I feel like someone's doing it.
Yeah,
Like so they say death and taxes, dude, but I don't fucking believe that.
yeah.
I don't.
I believe half of that.
Yeah.
First half,
Yeah,
actually.
just death. Just that goes for us all, dude. But even now, dude, you know, like they use a pig's heart for a human, bro. The guy died, but
Things are changing. Though,
yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
Just to get. I feel like the amount of like regulations that are in place for someone to be, just how bizarre that is. Like, hey, look, man, your heart's not looking real good, but
Yeah,
let's
not
try
even
this
that,
pig heart.
dude.
Like,
Not even that.
but
bro.
hold up. It's just like the amount of things for the whole panel that they had to convince to be like, hey, look, this guy's heart not looking good, but that pig heart though,
Looking pretty solid.
let's try that out, dude. And they're like,
Cameron.
you know what? That's a good idea.
This thing I just fucking
Like-
saw. They're using AI to speak to fucking whales, dude.
Oh yeah.
Like
Wow.
that's freaking wild,
What
bro.
they're saying, they're like, hey,
A
are
whole
you gonna
nother
have a party?
species. Yeah. Yo, where the hose at?
So we're gonna be like, nah, dude, that can't be what they're saying.
Yeah. No.
You know?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
They're probably
I
saying the
don't
same
know.
thing, dude.
but pretty much.
No, it wasn't whales. It was orcas, right?
Oh yeah, they're
Killer whales.
a form of dolphin.
Yeah, they
but
are, dude. Whales aren't. Like,
yeah.
they're different.
I gotcha. Yeah, nerd. But yeah, dude, trying to fucking flip some money, man. Gosh damn. I
Trying to
think
do
every
a little-
guy's trying to think that. Every guy, you know what I mean? Like, you see some fucking guy driving a 992 GTS, 3 or some fucking thing, and you're like, how the fuck do I get that?
How do I get 20 of those
Yeah. How do I get one in black, red, and
Yeah.
green, yellow?
every day of
Like-
the week to match my suits, man?
Right, dude. Seriously though,
Yeah.
man. That's where I'm like, what the fuck are we doing, bro?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
No.
What are we doing, dude? We're just fucking droning along, falling in line, man. And it's not even like one of those things where Big Brother's watching or The Man or something like that, but it's like, dude, you have to break out of something. There has to be a break. There has to be a breakthrough. There has to be a breakthrough, and I think you have to suffer. You have to suffer to get through that breakthrough. Like, I'm there. Me not getting my income tax even set me back a little bit more. Where I'm like, fuck. Like, I was expecting to go full-fledged into something, even more so, but it's like, that'd be ridiculous. Maybe I won't. Maybe I won't resign. Maybe I won't quit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, dude. I think to me, I think we're onto something. I think we're onto something, and I think we need to keep talking about shit.
Yeah.
Because at least in the sense like that, where my mindset is at, Cameron, Cameron, aka Cameron,
AKA.
the Cramster. I think I don't know, dude. I'm just I'm just tired of I'm tired of being a slave, dude. I'm tired like I wanna I wanna do stuff that makes me happy. You know, I wanna wake up and work for myself. I don't wanna work for nobody anymore. And for some people that hey dude, be a company man. That's all that's all good. Like
Yeah.
do your thing. There's nothing wrong with like I guess yeah, there's nothing wrong with work. I think it's more so like with working for a company or
Yeah,
something like
like
that.
if
Like
that brings you like
yeah,
so
yeah, dude, if that
again, like what you were saying where like why you wake up. If that's the reason why and if you found it and you find peace in that or like purpose in that, like pursue that and
yeah,
be the best at it. Like cuz it's like
that's your livelihood.
that's what we're all trying to find. And like that's really what we're talking about that. We're not trying to say that jobs are terrible or anything like that. It's just saying like for us anyway, at least the particular jobs that we've chosen to pursue or that we've pursued, they don't give us that.
Yeah, like I see quick success and people are like, "Oh, dude, you're the shit." And but then after when it settles, I'm like, when I get promoted so high, it's like so far, I'm like, "All right, dude, this is not me." Like this is as much as people are telling me that, like, bro, you could crush it here. Like, I don't want to crush it here. It's like that lady that we had a conversation with. It's like, dude, what is it with women having the guy who wants to take care of them, the best guy that you could possibly be, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But then that woman's like, eh,
Yeah.
yeah,
There's this thing that I saw where it's like you could be the best peach there is, dude. Flavorful, ripe, all that stuff, and someone could still hate peaches.
yeah,
It's
dude,
just
for
like,
sure.
oh yeah, it's fair, I guess, you
So
know?
it's like, I don't know, man. Like just one of those things where you just got to break out, dude.
Yeah.
You just got to break out.
Start.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like in the sense of you gotta, I guess, pass up sleep. Maybe. No, no, no. Yeah, definitely not
I
pass
was
up sleep.
I was watching these two videos today where there's this guy, he was like comparing these two, he was going through Instagram like reels or whatever, and like one of them was like Jeff Bezos, it's him talking about how he gets 8 hours of sleep and he makes it a point to get 8 hours and blah, blah, blah. He scrolls up and it's Steve Harvey. He's like, rich people don't sleep. It's just like,
Everybody has their own way of doing it,
you know,
dude.
yeah, just like whatever works for you.
To me, I think the thing right now is, I don't know, man, just working with you guys, working with my world. That's where I'll go
Yeah.
back to. Working with my world and not stopping that, and taking the risk of just immersing myself in my family, and then us creating business around each other. That's where I think, and I think that's where we lacked teamwork. And the older I get, the more I'm like, bro, we should have been working together a long fucking time ago, dude. Like, where were we at? You know, like, holy shit, dude. Like, we could have accomplished a lot more if we worked together.
Mhm.
Like from your A&M days.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? If all three of us were working together, like our other brother Ephraim. Yeah, dude, if we just worked together like that, it would have been so much fucking easier.
Yeah.
I didn't go to college. I was in the army for, again, like 8 years, how my brother said, but to me, college is slow paced, whatever, and it just seems like the norm to go into. But uh, I think, I think if you stay nimble in the sense of like constantly reading something and reading things that apply to what you think is for you, I think you'll find something. Like, I guess if you read novels, like, hey, dude, to each your own. But if you're wanting to do something in the sense of like life, like I read books on like stoicism, philosophy, different world leaders or influencers in the sense of like history. Like right now, I'm reading Cesar Chavez, and then I'm reading another one on Christian Louboutin, or how my sister says Louboutin, which is wrong. But in the sense, like there's three ideas that I have, or there's three things that I want to pursue. I want to make a cool podcast to where people are tuning in and listening, whether we're talking about something serious, like I feel like this is a serious conversation. Um, but also I want to pursue fashion. I want to make clothing and stuff like that. Either whether that's just making shirts for people or something, but you know, something like that. Creating something for people. I feel like it would make me happy. I constantly think about it. It's a fucking thing. And then the third thing is my brother Ephraim. He's a what is he?
He's an exercise physiologist.
He's an exercise physiologist. He's like a fucking twin turbo V12 fucking trainer. Like the dude is a subject matter expert in his realm of work. And like to start a fitness channel in the sense of benefiting people and changing people's lives.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like doing that, but doing that with my family and doing that actually with my brothers. You know, and I would say I feel like it would make me feel better to work with my family than to work for someone else. Like I'm seriously so fucking tired of clocking in and clocking out. Of like, hey, dude, don't go over OT, dude. Don't go over overtime because we don't got any overtime to give. Or, hey, why isn't this done? Or why isn't that? Like just a handful of things on top of what your role is, and then in the extension of like them not specifying the extra shit you're gonna get a hold of while you're there on the job. And you're like, bro, that wasn't in the job description. It's like, well, if you read in really small letters,
whatever other responsibilities might occur, actually.
Yeah, right?
Right there.
Exactly, dude. So like just being stuck in that mode where it's like, fuck, dude. Because honestly,
as needed,
right?
Is what I've seen.
So like my ideal week would be me working Monday through Sunday, right? Seriously. I was deployed for a little while, and one of the things when I first got there, I was a private, and it was like, do we get days off? And they're like, bro, you're deployed. Like, day off? Like, I was like, hey, bro, I was just asking. I was just fucking asking.
Yeah.
If I don't get it, I don't get it. But I think it would be easier, instead of me working 5 days a week for someone I don't really even fucking care about. Honestly, don't even care about it. I work for Home Depot, fucking don't care about it. Like, it's cool in the sense of being personable and working with people and extending yourself to help people. I love the engagement of whether it's employee, employer, or customer. I like that engagement. But in the sense of like my schedule being fucking everywhere and me having to cater to a schedule that is made for me instead of me making my own, my ideal schedule would be Monday through Sunday, waking up at fucking 4 in the morning, working out by 5, shower by 6, freaking, and start working 7 o'clock fucking to whenever the fuck I stop working. To whenever I feel like the job is done. That's my ideal work. That it would make me happy every fucking day if I could do that. Because it's my fucking schedule. But it's not. Because tomorrow I gotta be at work at 7. And then the next day I have to be work there at 6. The next day at 12:30. You know what I mean? Like it's just not. I would say in that sense you're working for the man, and I'm ready for the escape. I'm ready for the escape, dude. I'm not coming back. And I'm so fucking done. I'm tired. I'm tired of having to talk to somebody. It's like, hey, dude, why'd you call in? Hey, bro, your sick time is low, man. You better keep your eye on that, man. Because
better stay healthy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You better stay healthy. God forbid you get sick, dude. Because if you don't, you get clipped.
Yep.
So like stuff like that, dude. Where I'm like, bro, this is so annoying, bro.
Yeah.
Why is this grown ass man talking to me, another grown ass man, about why I'm not at work? Like, dude, I'm not saying that I don't want to be at work. But if I'm in if I'm in bad shape, I'm not at work. Like, of course, there's other people that are just trying to slide, trying to survive and shit like that, slug along. You know what I mean? But in the sense of like just being a good person and doing good work, like it's like, oh, like this fucking sucks. So again, I'm planning my escape, and it's gonna be fucking good. I'm so fired up, so fired up. Seriously,
I think that's a good note to end on.
mm-hmm.
Just like plan your escape. Yeah, just plan your escape. Find out who's in your corner in terms of that common goal of trying to find whatever it is that makes you happy, gives you purpose, wakes you up in the morning. If you have nobody, then be that person for somebody else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
I'm fortunate enough to have my brother Austin, but hopefully you have us. Like I guess as this pod grows. But
yeah.
That's sure it.
All right, guys.
Thanks for being with us, guys.
Yep. This is the Double Trouble podcast.
Yeah. Signing off.
Mm-hmm.